The final stupid international break is over. And we don't have to see another one until March. Thank God for that. Welcome back to the Premier League predictions. And this one is for week 12. Afternoon everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome to week 12 predictions in the Premier League. It's back, baby. If you've missed it, let me know by hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the Footy Network if you are new here, and check out today's sponsor Surfshark, where you can get 84% off, as well as 4 additional months completely for free. If you scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments, you can use VPN to access all the Netflix extra box sets that they get over in the USA, in Australia, and all the films as well. Scan this QR code now. All right, let's jump in to the weekend and let's talk about the fixtures. The King Power Stadium will host the first match back in the Premier League as Leicester will take on Chelsea. And this has a nice undercard to it as Enzo Maresca will be returning home. And I guess the real question is, will the Leicester fans be cheering Steve Cooper's name in the stand, the person who needs to get them to survive from relegation this season? Or will their hearts be singing for their ex-manager Enzo Maresca, who not only left them, but took Drewsbury Hall with him as well, their arguably best player from last season? This, for me, is a slam dunk. First game back. Yeah, you could say the players might be slacked, but there's a few injury concerns for Leicester. I think Fatuwu is out for the season, as is Jordan Ayew, but fear not, Crappy Daku is back, or Daka, whatever his name is. I see no other result other than a Chelsea win. I think Chelsea will be very comfortable in this match. I think Cooper will play his usual low block football against a big six. And as the underdog, he may fancy himself here. But I just think Chelsea's players and having the better manager will be too much for Leicester. And I see this as an away win. I'm going Leicester City 0, Chelsea 2. Do you guys agree with this one or not? Or maybe you guys think it will be more? Let me know in the comments. Game 2 will be at Craven Cottage as Fulham will host Wolves in the Premier League. And this is finally, you can say, Wolves did it. Congratulations, you got your first win. Okay, it was against lowly Southampton, but a win's a win and they are up and running. Has that relieved the pressure on Gary O'Neill, or is he still really just papering over the cracks? In terms of Fulham, they are flying this season. Marco Silva, I think one of the most underrated managers in the league, is doing a fantastic job with Fulham, as I believe they are now towards the top half of the Premier League. And I think this one, even though it should be a win for Fulham, it will be a win for Fulham. I'm going Fulham to win this 2-1, and this will ramp up the pressure on Gary O'Neill yet again. I think he's a dead man walking. Beating Southampton should not be enough to keep you in a job. Wolves fans, are you O'Neill in or O'Neill out? Is it time to get rid of that PE teacher? Let me know in the comments. Over to Goodison we go for the next match as Everton will host Brentford. And this game has absolutely no appeal to me. No offense, Everton and Brentford fans, but I can't see this being that exciting. Everton had a bit of a borefest against West Ham last time out. Pickford making a few key saves and Brentford coming from behind a couple of times to beat Bournemouth. But I don't think Brentford are going to do it this time. I just think after an international break, Everton would have rallied the troops around, and I think they owe the Goodison faithful a win. And with the fixtures they have coming up, they have to target this match. So I'm convinced that Everton are going to win. Even though there tends to be a lot of goals in Brentford matches, I'm going to go against the grain here. And I'm going to go for a home win, low scoring, Everton 1, Brentford 0. What do you guys reckon? To the Emirates in North London we go for the next match as Arsenal will host high-flying Nottingham Forest. Both these teams are on the same amount of points right now. Arsenal just ahead of Forest on goal difference. But let's remember, surely by now Arteta is under pressure, as Arsenal have not won a game since the last international break. Surely some questions need to be asked about him. These are two of the meanest defences in the Premier League this season. And with Chris Wood still scoring goals internationally in the Premier League, wherever he is, another hat-trick bagged for him this week away on international duty. I fancy a little upset here. Forest are the ones who ended Arsenal's title charge 2 years ago. And I think Forest may end it again this weekend. I'm not coming at this with any biasy at all, but I think Forest are going to win this. I've got a sneaky feeling on an away win. This may be just like we saw Forest do at Anfield and take the 3 points against Liverpool. I fancy something similar here. So I'm going to go Arsenal 0, Forest 1. Maybe I'm being biased. What do you guys think? Get your predictions in down below. The Vitality Stadium will host the next match as Bournemouth will take on Brighton. Brighton coming in off the back of a win against Man City. Are those feel-good vibes still there, even though we've had an international break? I guess we will find out this weekend. Bournemouth absolutely messed up last time out and should have beat Brentford, but they ended up with 0 points on that one. However, I have to say, Iraola is a fantastic manager and he's doing a great job there. Just like the rest of the class of 22, with Forest, Fulham and Bournemouth all in that top 10, they have to surely be the best 3 promoted teams in the history of the Premier League. What do you guys think? But in this one, although Brighton are doing well, though Brighton are going to have their chests out, don't see a win for Brighton here. But then again, I don't see a win for Bournemouth either. So I'm going to sit on the fence on this one, and I'm going to go Bournemouth 1, Brighton 1. I see a score draw here. What do you guys think? Let me know. Over to the West Midlands we go as Aston Villa will host Crystal Palace in the next game in the Premier League. And you could say these are two teams that are really out of form. Villa haven't won that many games in their last 6. I think 1 in 6 or 7. But is there any pressure under Emre? Yes, there can't be with the performances they're doing in the Champions League. The Villa fans love him and you can't blame them. So is this a blip for Villa? Can they get back on track now after the international break? Or will Palace finally be able to string a little bit of a run together? They're up and running after they took their 3 points against Spurs. And yes, I said 3, not 3, because Spurs are just giving out those points. Anyway, let's not laugh at Spurs. So, but I do think Glasner is under pressure. He needs to start stringing some wins together. We all saw what he did towards the end of last season. And yes, it was a one-man team with Elise, but now he needs to prove that that is not the case. And this is probably a good time to go to Villa Park. But I think Villa get back on track this weekend. They have to. They must. Otherwise, it could be a long season for them. They are now in the bottom half of the league, believe it or not. I'm going to go for a home win. I'm going to go Aston Villa 2, Crystal Palace 1. What do you guys think? The Etihad Stadium up in the northwest in Manchester is our next game as Manchester City will host Tottenham Hotspurs. And boy, oh boy, are these teams in desperate need of a win. Man City are starting to drop away from the likes of Liverpool, 5 points behind them as things stand. A defeat here and a win for Liverpool. Could people start writing them off? Is that even believable for the title race? And don't get me started on Ange and Spurs. You can't talk about Spurs without laughing right now. Losing to Ipswich, giving Ipswich their first points of the season, or the first win, should I say, of the season. Ange really needs to sort it out. They pull a great result out against Villa a week or 2 before, and then absolutely flop it against Ipswich and Palace as well a couple of weeks ago. They've done it before. They've taken on Pep. They've taken on the master, and they've beaten him. There's always this little thing that Spurs fans want to, brag about how they've beaten Man City a good few times. I just don't think this is the one. Pep has to sort this out. This has to be a home win. Otherwise, Liverpool may walk this title and be crowned champions really early. So I'm going to go for a home win here. I'm going to go Manchester City 2, Tottenham 1. What do you guys think? Let's head down to the south coast and St Mary's as Southampton will host Liverpool. And on paper, this should be an open shut case. Right now, Mo Salah has to be one of the hottest players in Europe in some of the finest form of his life. But Liverpool fans, calm down. I'm hearing comparisons to Henry and Salah. I don't think he's there yet. What do you guys think? Who's better, Henry or Salah? Let me know in the comments down below. Southampton have had their win, but Russell Martins is under extreme pressure to try and change his style. But he is adamant he wants to stick to this possession-based football. And I respect him for it. Why not? Why should a promoted club have to come up and be told how to play their style? Let them try. Who cares? It's their problem, not mine. Anyway, I think this one should be a comfortable win for Liverpool. I would like to see Southampton do well, upset the apple cart and all that. But Liverpool look like a strong unit right now, well oiled, all firing, all working off the same hymn book right now. And I can see an away win here. So I'm going to go Southampton 0, Liverpool 2. But if there was to be an upset, I would quite like it to be here. What do you guys think? Alrighty then, let's move on to the 9th match, and it's at Portman Road in East Anglia as Ipswich will host Manchester United. And Ipswich are coming off the back of their first win in the Premier League. It's still funny, even though it's been a couple of weeks. But they're playing decent football, and the atmosphere at Portman Road is always good. I think that this is going to be definitely tough for Manchester United. However, Manchester United have the option of getting their new manager bounce, with Amorim coming in to take his first game in charge after Rude had played a couple before the international break. I don't think this is as open shut as everyone thinks. Everyone thinks manager bounce, Manchester United against a promoted team. I do think they will win, but I don't think there's much in this one. I think Ipswich will put a good account for themselves. I was tempted to go for a draw here, but the new manager bounce convinced me to just shade this to the away team. So I'm going to go Ipswich 0, Manchester United 1. But I would love it if Ipswich beat them. I really would. What do you guys think? The final game of the weekend takes us up to the northeast and St James's Park as Newcastle United will host West Ham United. And Newcastle are coming back off their cup-winning, title-contending performance that's how they're perceiving it, at least, by beating Forest just before the international break. I'm not bitter or anything. With a lovely goal from Joe Linton, you have to say. For me, he was man of the match and is on fire right now. West Ham are the total opposite. They have an absolutely split fan base right now. In fact, I'd probably argue the fan base is the most united I have seen it in years. And that's because they want J-Lo out, as they call Lopetegui. I don't know how they got to J-Lo. West Ham have to get something from this game, because I think if they don't, he is a dead man walking. Maybe some West Ham fans would give up a defeat here just to see him exit the building. There's a lot of people saying to the West Ham fans, be careful what you wish for. You wanted Moyes out. Just because you want a manager out, it doesn't necessitate that the next one will be the right one. And clearly J-Lo is not the right one right now. So I sympathise with the West Ham fans. I get they want a better style of football. I get they want to see, the players they have performing. But under Lopetegui, it's not happening. I see a bloodbath here. I'm going Newcastle 4, West Ham 1. And this should be the end of Lopetegui. Do you guys agree or not? Let me know. And that brings you to your full fixture list for this Premier League weekend. It's so good to be back and looking forward to some actual proper football again. I look forward to reading your predictions in the comments down below. And I just want to say a massive thank you to all of those who've been supporting us on this channel and subscribed as well. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. If you're new and haven't, make sure you're subscribed as well. We do really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Have a good weekend.